Hi. Previously, we discussed what to expect in this course, including understanding the power of social media, the different types of content that we could use on social media, and content creation versus marketing. And now in this video, we'll discuss how to define your audience, how to set strategic goals and create messages, how to choose your platforms and channels and know what works best, and lastly, the branding, how to brand your project or organization. A common mistake that a lot of organizations do is to try to widen their campaign in hope of reaching everyone. Honestly, that could work with some companies like McDonald's, for example, because they want to reach everyone. However, when it comes to your specific project or initiative, it's all about reaching your specific audience with a targeted and clear message to better resonate with the right people. So first, let's define your audience. It is essential to perform a smart research in order to form your content in a way that would align with your audience's background and interest by understanding who they are and what they want and knowing how to serve and reach them. You can do so by putting yourself in their space. Spend a lot of time with them to understand their behaviors and expectations and to know what type of content that would resonate with your audience and what would make them engage and share your content. So after defining your audience, now we need to create your viewers' personas. Since your project might have different audience with different demographics, backgrounds, and interests, it is important to create audience profiles or personas to better decide on which content style or approach that would be more effective to produce. Keep in mind that you can create more than one persona that reflect specific groups of people. You would have to define who, when, what, where, when, as it would help you create a framework that would help you plan your campaign and set priorities with your decision at every stage. For instance, Erasmus wants to promote their application for university scholarships. The persona could be students between the age of 16 and 25 who are applying for university, about to graduate from high school and interested in traveling. That could be the persona. Having persona type in mind would help you produce tailored content and unique tone when approaching them. Thus, when you want to boost your content on Facebook, for example, the persona of your audience is a lot clearer and easier to reach. Lastly, you could use your content to focus on one persona. However, your general campaign could be targeting more than one persona. Moving on to setting strategic goals and creating campaign messages. But the question is, why should you set goals for your content marketing? A lot of organizations create content that get lost and their audience would never see. Following the guidance of a specific marketing strategy would help increasing the chance for your audience to consume your content to help achieve your goals. Generally, there are two types of goals that you should focus on: ongoing goals and campaign goals. Ongoing goals measure results that you need to accomplish on a regular basis, like likes on the post, engagement, comments. However, campaign goals measure results after a period of time. For example, encouraging people to join your activities, raising awareness on specific topics, or promoting signups for youth project volunteers. Moving on to one of the most asked questions: which platform should I start using? Now there are many platforms available like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and it could be very confusing to know which platform to start with. Each platform has its own benefits, constraints, and cultures that we should be aware of. Thus, my advice for the best results is to show up on different platforms and then optimize your content accordingly. The problem when choosing one platform is that you miss out on reaching a lot more of your audience because not all of them are based on one platform. As discussed in the previous videos, platforms has its own culture. For example, YouTube, people would like to spend more time on it. Instagram, people just want to quickly swipe through pictures and videos. Facebook, people would engage more and comment and share. We should understand that our target audience wouldn't be just using one of these platforms. So for better results, we need to show up on different platforms. But how could you optimize your content for different platforms? For instance, if you're producing an interview that is 20 minutes long, you would naturally post it on YouTube. But in order to optimize this specific content on different platforms, and since people are okay with 1-minute videos on Instagram, then you could take the 20 minutes video and cut it into short snippets that would maybe answering one of the questions on the interview and then post some of these answers on Instagram separately. And then on Facebook, people don't spend 20 minutes on one video. Usually it's between 2 minutes and 4 minutes, for example. Then you could create shorter version of the interview to fit the Facebook community. That's how you diversify and create one piece of content and then reproduce it to fit more than one platform. Thus, you would increase the possibility of reaching a lot of your audience. So the most common mistake that a lot of organizations do is that they decide to focus on one platform and then they plan to expand later on different platforms. So normally, if you're starting out, then maybe you would want to choose 2 or 3 platforms, and then later on you could work your way out for being present on other platforms like TikTok, for example. Now, moving on to the fun part, the branding. What is social media branding? Social media branding is to present your project or initiative through consistent voice, style, content, structure, colors, logos and fonts, and general impression. We call it the look and feel, the branding of the project. You should start by choosing a tone of voice that you want to use while addressing your audience. It could be shown in the way you write your post. It could be shown in the general language. Is it too formal or is it semi-formal? Is it friendly? And then have consistent visuals across all your channels. Make sure that your Facebook look and feel would look like Instagram and YouTube, and it should also match the look and feel on your website and your branding and your books and your flyers. They should all be consistent and to easily identify your project and differentiate you from the competition in your audience's eyes. Now, how to design your project's branding. If you're not part of an organization that has its own branding and look and feel, then you would want to take a step in creating your branding to form the look and feel of your project. This would include the logos, the colors, the branding, the styles that you would use, the fonts, and then you would add all this into something called the brand book, which you could always give to a new graphic designer to help guide the creator on using the same look and feel. So if you're not a graphic designer, then you should consider to look for someone who would volunteer and help you create your posts, your logos, the colors, and everything that you would use on social media and print. And if it's difficult to find someone who could be available on a weekly basis, then you could hire a graphic designer online for as low as $5 for a logo. For example, Fiverr.com. I've used this platform for ages, and this website is full of freelancers, and I've worked with a lot of them in creating my posts, designs, and copywriting and voiceover. And if your organization has a brand manual, then voila, they made your life a lot easier. Then you could use it and follow the guidelines in the brand manual, which would help you create content and designs. So far, we've learned about defining your audience, setting strategic goals, choosing the right platforms and channels, and creating your brand. And in the next video, I will discuss how to produce videos online, including the types of content, tips for successful storytelling, optimizing videos for silent play, and filming preparation, including the setup, the cameras to use, the lighting, how to record sound, and a lot more. So make sure to tune in and watch the next video. Thank you, and see you in the next one.